Luo Feng, with the help of the Yuan technique, had completely slain the great Saint Baiyu. The flame-wind association's dark hole confirmed that the causal ties of great Saint Baiyu had completely vanished and immediately informed each important guest of his death. Great Saint Baiyu has been completely killed. A top powerhouse in the primal chaos realm, and he cultivated the great Tao of life origin as well. Although his combat ability is somewhat inferior, his ability to preserve his life is exceptionally strong. Who could have completely killed him? Could it be some of the top existences among the ancient godly kings of the land of origin? Those beings, each with a highly esteemed status, generally do not bully the weak. Great Saint Baiyu was also very cautious, never daring to provoke those beings. What in the world happened? The death of Great Saint Baiyu had many powerful individuals within the land of origin paying attention and feeling somewhat alarmed. They also worried that this terrifying existence might come after them. After all, most in the primal chaos realm were not as capable of preserving their lives as Great Saint Baiyu was. Perhaps Great Saint Baiyu chose to reincarnate immediately after encountering a formidable enemy. Some powerhouses speculated that Great Saint Baiyu was still alive, just that he had reincarnated. That was normal, faced with an overwhelming enemy. Naturally, one would choose to reincarnate cleanly and neatly. Luo Feng's divine power incarnation in Chi Capital also received this important piece of intelligence from the flame-wind association's dark hall. With his current status, he naturally had a long-term subscription to the important intelligence of the land of origin. This intelligence only records the death of Great Saint Baiyu, but not why or who killed him. It's completely unknown. Luo Feng, shuttling through the void on his return journey, found the intelligence to be somewhat amusing. When he acted, only the cultivators in that ordinary city were present. Given Luo Feng's realm, when he appeared before those cultivators, those ordinary cultivators could not even see him. Thus, the only one who knew of Luo Feng's action was Great Saint Baiyu himself. Luo Feng merely glanced at Great Saint Baiyu, and under the Yuan technique, Great Saint Baiyu was dead. He didn't even have the chance to use the reincarnation secret art, so there was naturally no opportunity for the news to spread. With Luo Feng's tunneling transformation technique, he could shuttle through the void at tremendous speeds. Still, traveling from Tianji Icefield back to Flamewind Ancient Countries Chi Capital took about 6 hours. Marquis Mansion of Chiyu? I handed over a bunch of troublesome tasks to Brother Luo He, and Brother Luo He picked the task concerning Great Saint Baiyu. No sooner had he accepted it than Great Saint Baiyu died. Emperor Chiyu was a bit astonished. Based on the battle at Thousand Star Tower, Brother Luo, his physical body was powerful, easily sweeping through the peak of primal chaos realm. But no matter how formidable the physique, it shouldn't be possible to kill a being of the primal chaos realm completely. After all, Great Saint Baiyu had quite a few life-saving techniques. It seems that having a formidable physical body is merely what is observable of Brother Luo. His methods. He also has hidden lethal moves, possibly even able to completely kill a top primal chaos realm being. Emperor Chiyu speculated, his eyes lighting up for a moment. Just what is Brother Luo? His true origin? Could he really be the reincarnation of a godly king? If he was the reincarnation of a godly king, it would make sense for him to have unknown techniques. Suddenly, Emperor Chiyu saw a figure arriving above the Marquis Mansion. Brother Luo He. Emperor Chiyu immediately went to greet him, and Luo Feng descended. Mission accomplished, Luo Feng said with a slight smile. Emperor Chiyu also expressed with admiration, I didn't expect Brother Luo He to have such methods, capable of completely killing a top primal chaos realm being. When you were against 5 opponents before, it seems Brother Luo He still showed restraint. Luo Feng smiled. On one hand, those 5 were at the peak of the primal chaos realm. He wasn't entirely sure he could kill them with the Yuan technique. Furthermore, 2 of them were rank 1 marquises. Killing an eternal true god from the Imperial clan would put a bounty on his head, let alone a rank 1 marquis of the Imperial clan. The moment he moved against them, he probably would have lost his life. On the other hand, in Chi Capital, he still needed to keep a low profile. Mission accomplished, but what proof is needed? Luo Feng asked. This task hasn't been claimed in a long time. You just accepted it, and Great Saint Baiyu died. That's part of the proof already. If you have Great Saint Baoyu's body or weapons, you can just show them to me for recording, said Emperor Qiyu. If not, a record of your killing memory scene given to me will also suffice. Luo Feng turned his hand and took out a well-known double-edged axe belonging to Great Saint Baoyu. Emperor Qiyu glanced at it and nodded. That's enough, I've submitted the task. Your merit points should be awarded very soon. Luo Feng nodded. Remember to keep the matter of the task I completed confidential. Emperor Qiyu understood, nodding. Rest assured, I am directly responsible for your task. When I submit it, it is handled by the artifact spirit of Palace of Emperor Qiyu. Apart from the ancestor emperor, the outside world will not know. Luo Feng nodded. There was no need to publicize his ability to completely kill a top being of the primal chaos realm. It was still best to keep such a lethal move hidden. HM. Luo Feng's guest official order received a message. He had acquired 100,000 merit points as a reward. With enough merit points, I can now exchange them for the Great Tao of Destruction Origins Extermination of 72 Blades Volume 1. Luo Feng's heart surged with eagerness. Originally having set his sights upon two inheritances, he had only exchanged for one last time. Luo Feng immediately bid farewell to Emperor Qiyu and headed to the palace of Emperor Qiyu to exchange for the long-coveted inheritance. Inside the palace of Emperor Qiyu, within the inheritance hall. Guest official Luohi, are you sure you want to exchange for Extermination of 72 Blades Volume 1? Asked the old artifact spirit of Palace of Emperor Qiyu, looking at Luo Feng. Yes, Luo Feng nodded. The old artifact spirit gave a slight nod, and he disappeared in an instant. The inheritance hall was engulfed in chaos, except for a faintly glowing light enveloping Luo Feng. The vast amount of inheritance information flowed into Luo Feng's mind. Luo Feng's consciousness quickly absorbed the massive amount of information, understanding the true nature of this inheritance. Luo Feng was somewhat shocked. He had previously only understood some of the basic information about the inheritance, but upon coming into contact with the real inheritance, Luo Feng was still stunned. The initial 8 tribulations life form first calamity embodied 3 branches of the Great Tao of Life: Origin, Life Spirituality, Body of Life, and Origin of Life, and one needed to achieve perfection in all 3 branches for the cultivation of the first calamity. And Extermination of 72 Blades Volume 1 only contained 2 branches of the Great Tao of Destruction Origin, the Heaven-Splitting Lineage and Dark Heaven Lineage. With just these 2 branches, the first volume of this inheritance required 90,000 merit points, only slightly less than the 8 tribulations life form first calamities, 100,000 points. The Extermination of 72 Blades, with almost negligible life-preserving capability. Why such a high cost? It is too strong. Luo Feng finally realized just how terrifying the path focused on slaughter and destruction could be. In the face of this path, there was no need to protect oneself. By killing the enemy, there would be no more threats. The blade technique he had comprehended seemed like an infant swatting at branches. It was many times inferior to the first volume of Extermination of 72 Blades. Heaven-Splitting Blade Formula 3 Styles. In the inheritance information received by Luo Feng, he saw those 3 blades. Each stroke of blade light was restrained, seemingly not very powerful. But a seemingly ordinary stroke could easily cut through all things, even severing the operation of laws. Swish! An ordinary stroke passed, and everything was cleaved apart. Even the thick and mysterious world barrier was torn open with a crevice. The explosive power of my billions of units of transformation method couldn't even shake the world barrier the slightest. As far as I know, even some ancient godly kings can't break this braided cage barrier. Luo Feng looked at this ordinary stroke within the inheritance information. This one stroke, not strong in might, yet nothing could withstand its cut. It seemed as if everything was going to be cut open. Even the world barrier was about to be split. In the face of such a stroke, even the world barriers would be cleaved open. How many godly bodies could block it? Luo Feng pondered, noting that this was only the heaven-splitting blade technique. Boom! Luo Feng also saw the blade light from the Dark Heaven lineage within the inheritance information, which was even more restrained than the heaven-splitting blade technique. But this kind of restraint made Luo Feng feel somewhat apprehensive. The Dark Heaven blade technique is an extreme concentration of might, condensed to surpass the normal pinnacle of primal chaos realm by tens of thousands, even millions of times. The Dark Heaven lineage, was the convergence and refinement of power. The same amount of power, if concentrated tens of thousands to millions of times, swish. A very ordinary blade light, when wielded, could also destroy all things. In its presence, the braided cage barrier trembled, seemingly ready to crack any moment. This dark heaven blade technique has little might, but solely because it's condensed to the utmost. Its destructive power far surpasses mine, Luo Feng mused, not surprised, as only upon perfection of the dark heaven lineage could one fully master the 3 styles of dark heaven blade technique. Upon perfection of the dark heaven lineage, one was already a godly king. It made sense that a destructive blade technique cultivated by a godly king was more powerful than his own. Fusing the heaven-splitting blade technique 3 styles and dark heaven blade technique 3 styles into one, Luo Feng saw the most core part of this inheritance. Combining the condensation of the dark heaven blade technique with the cuts through anything of the heaven-splitting blade technique, the blade light condensed to the utmost could easily rip a huge gash in the world barrier, wielding the power to destroy heaven and earth. Luo Feng felt as if his own body, no matter how formidable, would be annihilated in the face of such blade light. And this is only the first volume, comprising the first 3 strokes of extermination of 72 blades, Luo Feng thought silently. As the first volume, the creator of the blade technique also expounded on the true intent of the technique. The purpose of the blade technique was to transcend the cage, achieve limitless and ultimate destructive power, cut through everything, and even pursue the severing of all operational rules. Such a terrifying obsession, Luo Feng felt, just by coming into contact with the inheritance, the obsession imbued by the creator of the blade technique within it. To cut through everything. Everything outside the cage, equally to be severed. Extermination of 72 blades represented only the strongest blade technique he left behind as an inheritance at that time. He was still pursuing a stronger blade technique, aiming to cut through even more formidable targets. In the palace of Emperor Chu, that emperor was observing Luo Feng. Could it be that he managed to thoroughly kill a top entity of the primal chaos realm? Could he be a reincarnated godly king? The emperor thought, no matter the origin, all life born in this origin world can be cultivated. Both ancient countries had the magnanimity to encompass the entire origin world. They could accommodate even pinnacle sector beasts. Of course, they would not tolerate uncontrollable sector beasts that wreaked havoc. In terms of strength, I'm inferior to Emperor Qing. Apart from the 2 ancestors in the land of origin, Emperor Qing is the strongest, and I can't compare. But in nurturing disciples, I'm not necessarily worse off. The emperor still felt a bit defiant. Among the imperial clan's 13 lineages, Emperor Qing has 15 direct disciples, 6 godly kings, 8 who have transcended the primal chaos realm, and 1 at the pinnacle of primal chaos realm. Moreover, the 6 godly king disciples under the emperor also have numerous disciples, among which to have become godly kings. This shows how strong Emperor Qing's lineage is. I currently have 2 disciples, 1 who has transcended the primal chaos realm, and 1 at the pinnacle of primal chaos realm, the emperor considered. He was not as good as Emperor Qing, nor were his disciples. This though he may be a reincarnated godly king. If I take him as a direct disciple, wouldn't I have a godly king disciple in the future? The emperor thought, watching Luo Feng receive the inheritance. After becoming a guest official, he chose 2 inheritances. I'm not very familiar with the life origin lineage, but the destruction of origin lineage. My cultivation is precisely based on the great Tao of destruction origin. The emperor was quite pleased. It seems he should be my disciple. But the 2 inheritances he chose did not rely on cultivating with primordial force or primordial materials. They were inheritances for the enlightened. The enlightened's inheritance seeks no external assistance and aims for one's own Tao. Although this path is powerful, the difficulty is extremely high. The emperor reflected, I have to think what to prepare for my 3rd disciple. The emperor pondered. In the 13 lineages of the imperial clan, when emperors take disciples, they bestow weapons, resources, and other items. This has become customary.